Hi, this is Brett Ingram, award-winning entrepreneur, and today I want to share with you the smartest way to grow a podcast. Starting a podcast and growing a podcast are two completely different things. Now, I did an episode on starting a podcast, so if you didn't watch that or you didn't listen to that, you want to jump in and do that first because we're going to pick up where that one actually left off. So initially what we want to do is sort of get our podcast off the ground. And the quick summary of that was basically just figuring out all the nuts and bolts, getting our cover graphics and our title and sort of our ideas down, our format, and then actually creating some episodes and getting them actually posted on a podcast hosting platform. So sort of that's all the setup. And we want to get that done first because ultimately we can't grow anything until we've got it started. And so once we have the baseline and we've got it going, the next question is, okay, so how do we grow this? If I'm going to go every single day and I'm going to spend my time creating episodes, I certainly want to be able to do it in a way where people are going to engage with it, where I'm going to be able to build an audience and help the people I'm trying to help and grow it, at the same time, which is obviously the whole point of it in the first place. And so this episode here is going to assume that you already have your show set up and that you already have it running. And really the goal is, okay, how do I get more listeners? How do I get it to, grow bigger? I've already have some content. And, the fact is I just need at this point to be able to grow it and get a larger audience and know exactly what I need to do. Because if all we do is set up a show and start to create content, that's going to feel really good. It's an accomplishment. You should definitely pat yourself on the back for it and feel good about that. That said, unfortunately, it isn't field of dreams, right? It's not like if we build the content, people are just going to come swarming in. The internet is far too, the digital landscape is just far too crowded for that kind of thing to ever happen. I mean, could you ever strike gold where you make an episode and all of a sudden it goes viral and everyone's sharing it? Yes. But those kinds of stories are the needle in the haystack. You have just as much chance of going out in your backyard, digging and finding a treasure than you do to be able to post an episode or two and have all of a sudden it go viral and thousands of people flooding into your podcast. If you do, let me know if you figure out the secret to that, because I'd love to know it myself. The fact of the matter is, for the most part, we have to work for what we want. So we're going to need to be able to create the content, and then we're going to need to be able to promote it in order to be able to make that happen. We're going to need to be able to grow it in a very sort of deliberate way. And so if we just keep creating content, what happens is the vast majority of podcasts, unfortunately, podcasters give up because they start to create a little bit of content. They go through all the work to get it set up. And they have this belief that if they just start making good content, all of a sudden people will find it. And so what ends up happening is very few people get past the 10th episode or 11th episode and they realize, geez, I got one listener or 0 listeners or just my friends and family, and they're the only ones who are listening. This doesn't work, which is not true, but it does take a lot of persistence. It takes a lot of commitment. If you're familiar with the YouTube personality, Mr. Beast, obviously it's a YouTube channel. It's a little bit different than a podcast, but the idea is the same. What people don't know is that he made videos for years, and got no traction, had no results. Now he's the #1 YouTuber in the world. Obviously makes a gazillion dollars, super popular. He's basically reached celebrity status, and yet he made a ton of videos that got no results at all. But he was so passionate about doing the videos that was the reason he was doing it. Yeah, sure, he wanted to be able to make money with it and all this other stuff. But the primary thing was he just loved creating the videos. And he wanted to keep making them better and better. So he just kept trying and doing other things until he eventually figured it out. People told him he was nuts, like he was never going to be able to make it work. And he's the one who's laughing now. So the fact of the matter is, we have to be consistent and just go into it with that in our mind frame and not be so excited about the fact that we got it set up that now all of a sudden it's going to explode. We know we're going to need to do some work to make it go. And so we want to proactively build it, is basically the moral of this story. And there are lots of ways to do it. There are ways that are paid and there are ways that are free. And we are going to run down a bunch of promotion methods. But before we even get into the promotion, there's a really important step that we need to take in the growth process. And it's actually vitally important to do this before we start the promotion. Because if we just start off with straight promotion, we're going to limit what we're going to do, and we're going to limit the effectiveness of that promotion. We're not going to get the best bang for our buck. So before we even start promoting, the first step that we want to do is we want to go multi-channel, right? We want it in as many outlets and get as many touch points as we can get. So if we have a podcast, the first thing when we start to post episodes is obviously we submit them to all the directories, right? And any good podcasting hosting software and platform will do that for you automatically. So then you're on Apple and you're on, Amazon, you're on Google, you're on, Spotify and all the big ones and all the little ones too. And you can get listeners, you can grow an audience from all of that. And all of that's great, but it's still just audio. It's still just, and audio content in and of itself is not great for organic search engine traffic. When people type in searches, they very rarely see audio files in their results, right? So what we want to do is we want to go multi-channel. So that way we get as many touch points as we can grow our digital footprint and have as many people, as many feeders coming into our podcast as possible. So we want to maximize the ways that people can find us and join. Then if we do that, and then we start to promote it, now we're going to get exponential results because all of those promotional efforts are going to feed into all of those arms that are coming into our podcast, and that's going to give us the exponential effect. So in order to go multi-channel, this not only gives us lots of ways to grow our audience, but it also gives us a much better SEO footprint for organic search engine traffic over time too. So what we want is an audio podcast. Ultimately, what we're looking for is an audio podcast that has show notes. The show notes are text notes about what's in the show. And there's value in that for a couple of reasons. Not only does it help people figure out what's in the show and see what they want to listen to and maybe fast forward to where they want, but it also gives us an SEO footprint because it's text, and text gets indexed a lot better than audio does. And so by having text notes written out about all of the things in the episode, then we're able to get an SEO footprint doing that. Now, as I run down this list, don't get overwhelmed. I'm going to show you a huge shortcut because there's a lot of stuff here. The other thing we want is transcripts. So we want a text transcript of the entire episode. That's literally word for word. It's not a summary like the show notes are. It's literally a transcription of what we're saying. And we want to be able to have that in the audio episode as well. So every audio episode we post has the audio, it has the show notes, and then it also has the transcript. And we want to include a link to our YouTube channel in those show notes as well. Okay, so that way we're sort of going to make this into a full circle sort of symbiotic situation here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have that with a link to our YouTube video podcast. Then we're going to have our video podcast. This is going to be our YouTube channel, which is a video version of the podcast. And that's also going to have show notes, and that's going to have a link to the audio podcast. So you can see how this is going to go full circle. What's going to happen is people that enter our sort of content through video have the option to also do the audio and vice versa. So while we want to grow our podcast, we don't really care whether they're listening on Spotify or whether they are watching on YouTube. What we care is that they're tuning in. And then we also want to have our own website. Now, a lot of the hosting platforms give you sort of a rinky-dink free version of the website. You can use that, but I actually recommend that you get your own website created once you get up and running and you start to take this seriously. I use WordPress because WordPress is not only a free platform, but it also is the most widely regarded for SEO optimization and free organic traffic. There are a lot of tools, there are a lot of other things you could do to optimize that, and there are a lot of plugins and ways that you can extend it and make it grow. And so I recommend a WordPress website. You can buy a template for a podcast version of a website, on like Envato Marketplace or whatever for very cheap. And then you get a professional looking podcast website that's hosted on WordPress, which is far better. And then what we want to do is on that website, we want to have our audio episodes posted. We want to have our video episodes posted. And we want to have an SEO version, SEO optimized text blog post version of every episode as well. Now, again, before you panic, there are plugins that will automatically post the audio and the video. So you upload it to YouTube, boom, it appears on your website. You upload your audio, boom, it appears on your website. All hands-free. You don't even need to do that. The only thing we need to really post is the SEO optimized text blog post version of every episode. And the text version will have links to our audio and our video. So now we have a text, an audio, and a video version. They're all connecting to each other, and the hub that's connecting it all is our website. So the beautiful thing about this, and what makes it really smart, is as we grow that footprint, as we add more episodes, we're getting video, audio, and text content. We're building our SEO footprint, which will give us great search engine traffic over a long period of time for years to come. So it's not a short-term strategy. We're not going to get a ton of free organic traffic out of the gate doing this, but over time it will really start to generate. And then what we want to do is we also want to create image quotes. You've seen those quotes on social media where it's the person's face or whatever, or maybe it's just a cool background, and then it has a quote from something that they said. We want to be able to post quotes on Facebook or Meta and Instagram. And we also want short video reels for Facebook, Meta, and Instagram, and also YouTube. Now, you might be thinking, wow, this sounds totally overwhelming. I think I'm just going to pull the plug on my podcast and go back to watching, binge watching stuff on my couch. I completely get it. And this is the exact reason why in my episode about starting a podcast, we didn't cover all this, because it's absolutely overwhelming. It's also impossible to try to do it all right. But once we have a podcast up and running and we're creating content, this is a lot easier than it sounds. And I'm going to tell you that it is a lot of work and it's overwhelming if you try to make it all from scratch. But I'm a big believer in working smart, not hard. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So we can actually make lots of, if we were making this all as unique content individually, it would take forever. But if we're smart, we can leverage our full episode and we can multi-purpose it into everything that we need, all in one shot. In fact, just so you know, so you are aware of how this can be done, when I was doing all the content myself, I literally, by myself, could do a daily episode of my podcast every weekday, 5 days a week. The planning, the recording, the editing of all of it. The audio episode, the video episode, the text blog post. I published the audio, I published the video, published the blog post to my website. I did the image quotes for Facebook, the image quotes for Instagram, the video reel for Facebook, video reel for Instagram, video reel for YouTube. All myself in a few hours every single day. So it's 100% possible, but you can even do it faster than that, and you can even outsource it for a lot cheaper. So it's about working smart. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. And this will take your results and be able to give you a platform to be able to grow your podcast to a fantastic level really, really quickly. So you can outsource it as well, but if you need to do it yourself, it is possible to be doing it every single day. And if you're not doing a daily show, if you're doing a weekly or every couple of weeks, it's far easier because you only need to do this once per episode. I was doing it every single day. And so it won't take as much time. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to start by recording a video version of our podcast. Now, I prefer the talking head style. It's what I use. If you don't want to be on camera, you can always do this with sort of an AI like text version or the transcript version of your video, scrolling on some background as the video. But the point is we want to record it as a video And if you're using a talking head style, it is the best. And we want to use the rule of thirds, which means you basically want to consume about 2/3 of the video. You can see where I am. My head is about 1/3 from the top of the very video frame. And I have a torso shot where you can see my hands down to about my waist. That's typically what people use for a talking head style. You can experiment, but this is a general rule. The key is you want to make sure that your lighting is very good, because lighting really matters. You want to make sure the sound is very good and the video is all high quality. Again, I went over on starting the podcast, the equipment you could get for a couple $100. You can get an awesome video camera. Couple $100, you can get an awesome microphone. If you're going to go through the trouble to do a podcast and really try to grow it and do all the work, it is a little bit of an investment, but I think, $500-600 to get the equipment you need, $50-60 on a light is dirt cheap compared to what it would take to get a professional setup of all that stuff, and you could do it right from your own home. And so you do want to make sure that's all high quality. So I highly recommend, before you create a bunch of episodes only to find out the audio's tinny or the lighting has all kinds of shadows in it, experiment. Do a bunch of sound, video, and tests, and change the different gain on your microphone. Play with all the settings that the stuff has until you find the optimized version that looks and sounds the best. Then use that, mark down those settings, and use those settings every single day, so that way you're always going to get good quality. So if you record a video to start and you use an online service like Riverside.fm, which is who I use, but there are a lot of different services like this. What's awesome about it is it makes it super easy to multi-purpose your content. Because what we're going to do is record it in Riverside, and then we're going to strip the audio out in Riverside and use the audio for our audio podcast. We're going to use the video of the episode for our YouTube channel video podcast. And then Riverside will actually create the show notes for you automatically, and they put it in beautiful bullet format and summary format. It's very, very good. You can use that to create your show notes. It'll also create your transcripts for you. It transcribes all your videos, and it'll create the subtitles for your YouTube videos and your reels automatically as well. So boom, we just took care of all that stuff. Then Riverside will actually also create clips of the video, and it'll make 5 or 6 clips of any video or more if you have longer videos. Now, I don't recommend using them as stock the way they're created. Usually they're not that good, but they contain good stuff. You just need to edit, and it has a very easy editing interface where you can add content and remove it, and you want to keep all of your clips under 60 seconds so they qualify as reels on all the platforms. This way, they go in a different bucket than a long-form video. They're much more consumable and they get viewed a lot more. And so we're going to have it create our clips, then we're just going to edit, pick the 3 best ones, edit those to make them even better, add the subtitles, which you could do right inside the Riverside software, and then export those. And then what we're going to do is we're going to scroll through our transcript of the full video, and we're going to look for 2 great quotes that we said. These don't need to be pre-planned quotes. You just do your episode, scroll back through it, look for a short little quote that looks good in 2 different places that would look good on a quote image. And then what I do is I use Canva to create the quote graphics. Now here's a $1 million tip. Instead of going into Canva, I'm not a graphic designer, and trying to create these quotes myself, what I did is I went on Fiverr and I outsourced on Fiverr a 10 quote graphic templates made in Canva. So I actually had a professional graphic designer make 10 templates of quotes in Canva and then just share the editable file with me. Now I can go in every day, choose one of the template graphics that I want, just edit the text in it, and boom, I've got my quote for the day. And I don't need to pay somebody every time to make new quotes because I do it myself. You have them make the templates for you that you can edit in Canva yourself. And then you can go in there, they're super professional, then you just edit them and download them, and you've got your quotes done in seconds every single day. Boom. That's all the content you need. Then all you need to do is schedule it to post all of that for every single episode that we make. And now, once we've done that, we have a multi-channel presence. And it's that powerful and that fast and easy. To do that all individually, it would take you the entire day at least if not a couple of days, and the quality of it might or might not be as good. By doing it with this automated way and using leverage everywhere we can create different seeming content on all the platforms so we can pull in a maximum audience from every multimedia purpose that we can use. This by itself will grow your digital footprint and generate traffic over time for organic and search and social media. Now again, it won't happen overnight. Just because you're creating all of this, it doesn't mean tons of people are going to flood in. But now what we've done is we prime the pump for growth. It will grow by itself if you just keep going, but there are ways to maximize that too and actually promote it super hard. So now it just comes down to promotion once we've got this going. For me, to this point, I've used exclusively SEO or search engine optimization for organic traffic, and I recommend that highly for long-term results because it absolutely works. It builds out a footprint based on keywords that will drive organic traffic into your stuff for months and years to come. So instead of just buying ads where you get instant results but then they're dead when they're gone, this will work for you long-term. I'm not suggesting it's the only promotion method. We're going to go over promotion in more detail, but I highly recommend you start that as soon as you go multi-channel because it will generate results, and over time, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, you'll be amazed at the results that you'll get. I, in full disclosure, am not an SEO expert, so I actually outsource that. It's not that expensive, but it does absolutely work, and they can optimize all of your content for you. So we're going to cover hardcore promotion methods on another episode, but to be ready for real promotion, we first need our podcast up and running with content created, and we need to go multi-channel. Then we're ready to rock. So the takeaway here is if we're going to take the time to create a podcast, we want to do it right and make sure we can grow a following and an audience. By using multi-channel syndication, we can reach as many people as possible across multiple platforms. And if we work smart, we can do it by leveraging our main content to create all of the rest that we need.